Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 10th. We're just going to jump right in here, Taurus, and we are going to see what is going on for you at this time. You have this card that says a halt. It says there's no money coming in or coming in very slowly. The experience is meant to bring your attention to something. You know, honestly, here, Taurus, I feel like you're being triggered by past experiences. Like maybe you have had, kind of like a negative situation in your finances in the past. And I feel like you need to, it's almost like this reading is saying explore it. Like normally I would say, change your focus and think to something more positive. But sometimes I think maybe like your finances are fine right now, maybe, but you could just be kind of experiencing some triggers from the past. And, again, in this first row, I feel like the reading is more saying like maybe this isn't something you're actually experiencing, but it's something that you're meant to explore so you can figure out like what maybe there was a money block years ago that came up, and maybe you're making more money, but maybe it's still actually blocking like your true success. That's what I'm getting here. I hope that makes sense. And I feel like like I said, you're not revisiting the past, but it's like sometimes I think it's a good idea to kind of look at the past and say like, oh, why is this happening? And, how can I fix it, or how can I overcome it, or what can I do to change this situation? Even in your last row, it's funny, this row is meant to represent your good stuff. So this is going to be positive no matter what. But you have that tricky situation card, 5 of Pentacles, Tower, Ace of Swords, your inner truth. It's like just putting it all together. I feel like some of you had like a tricky situation in the past, financially, definitely popped into my head, obviously, in the beginning of the reading. And it's like now, it's like being triggered for some reason. Again, and by the way, this right here is the most powerful combination in the tarot, the Judgment card in the Tower. To me, that represents a major revelation, major wake-up call. So again, now might be a good time. Again, we have Mercury retrograde. I think it's a great time to, pretty much any word that has the RE in front of it, revisit, reevaluate, redo. All those things are good things to do during a Mercury retrograde. And so, might be a good time to like kind of revisit some financial issues that you've had in the past so that you can gain some clarity. And, people always say to me like, oh, I don't want to, we shouldn't be living in the past. I'm like, no, it's not living in the past. You're just kind of looking at what the money blocks were so you can correct them now in the present. So, I think sometimes people take like spiritual teachings too far, like, thinking like, oh, I have to be like a monk that meditates in a cave all day, or something like that. But again, and trust me, I love Eckhart Tolle, right? I've read all his books, love him. I practice being present all the time, but it's like there are times where we have to look at things from the past. It's like we can't ignore it. And again, I don't even think he would ever suggest, I don't know, I should probably interview him, right? But I don't think he would suggest not thinking about the past. It's impossible as well as a human. So what I would say here is I think it's more about gaining clarity for you and kind of seeing the things that you can change right now in the future. And, that's definitely what I would do here, Taurus, because it looks like it could actually be setting you free and increasing your finances. It definitely looks financial to me, the whole entire reading, basically. There's a little bit of love here, but, I would say that for the most part, it's financial. I also think that for the most part, it could also have to do with any foundation in your life with the Tower. The Tower can represent the loss of some sort of, the Tower, right? But it only ever gets reduced down to its foundation. So you can always rebuild it stronger. But again, it's showing up in the good stuff. So this is a good thing that's happening, probably not a bad surprise, right? You have the Knight of Pentacles. Some of you, I kind of have that energy of thinking like, thinking that you wish you knew things back then, now, right? If I knew then what I know now, type of energy on this Knight of Pentacles, where you could be thinking like, oh, if I just knew this, I would have been able to fix the situation. So there might be a little bit of living in the past energy, and I would just say like, that is the bad form of living in the past, right? So I feel like for some of you, there is a big difference between the two. I don't know why I feel like I don't even care. I don't know why I feel like I have to clarify this in your reading, but I don't know. It's popping into my head as extremely important for you. So maybe you're going back and forth or whatever between like all these lessons or things that you've learned, right? And I think that you just need to look at it as the fact that you can change it right now. So I feel like you can change these things very quickly. You have the 7 of Cups. What I would say is that for some of you, I feel like this is about taking action. Here's the thing. This is very good. 9 of Pentacles to the 9 of Cups, like total fulfillment, total independence, being able to take care of yourself, like really good energy right there. And for some of you, it's like on the tip of your tongue is what I feel like saying, but it's not. That's not what I mean. It's almost like you could be dreaming of doing something in your life, like starting a business or changing your life in some way. It could be your health or whatever is going to lead to your independence with the Nine of Pentacles. Whatever makes you feel more free, more focused, more healthy. Whatever helps you feel like you're in a better environment as well with the Nine of Pentacles, like the things around you, the people, the places, the things around you. And I get all of that. And for a lot of you, it's like there's been a lot of dreaming, but this looks like action to me because Nine of Cups would be like the realization of the dream. And I kind of get that for you. I'm using this Lenormand deck here, by the way, to clarify with the Queen of Swords. You have the Anchor. The Anchor is actually a pretty good card of your foundation. When you think about it, an anchor kind of keeps a boat or a ship in place. I look at the Anchor in the Lenormand as a good and a bad card because, it can be a card of being stuck, but it can also be a card of like stability and, kind of something that provides you with stability. I feel for you that this going across the top here is mostly saying that it is time for you to pull up your anchor and it is time for you to like set sail, right? It's time to, get moving towards something new. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have this Bees card. This deck has some extra like Oracle cards in it, that aren't Lenormand cards. It says sweetness, cooperation, hard work, focus, education, sweet results, duty. Nine of Pentacles can be a card of progress, and I kind of feel like there are some sweet results that are waiting for you to wake up, I really feel this here. Again, this is extremely powerful, these two cards. To me, this could say that there needs to be a wake-up call. And it's like something is inspiring you with the Ace of Wands. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I feel like you need to pay attention to like some sort of wake-up call. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Birds here. The Birds can be a card of communication. And so I do feel like there's a lot of important communication coming in for you here. Seven of Cups is like some sort of truth. It doesn't even want to focus, right? So the Ace of Swords in your reading could be like some sort of truth that's being revealed. And it's kind of popping into my head with this Birds card that there could be like some sort of discussion or communication with a person. I kind of feel like this is good though. So again, if you're interested in a person, kind of feels like maybe you have a friend or someone you've known for a while that you're interested in. This could be communication with that person. Maybe you've been friends, but now you're actually like, kind of turning it into something. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this victim energies card. It says, choose to release the victim mentality and become an empowered survivor, to learn from the past and move forward to a joyful and abundant future. Yes, I once said, I heard a lady who was talking about a near-death experience, and she said that, she learned something on the other side about victims, and she said, keeping people trapped in victim mentality is never allowing them to be an overcomer. So, again, I kind of get the same energy here, where some of you are maybe learning how to become an overcomer, someone who's not a victim, someone who is very successful. And again, I'm not discounting any victim experiences or anything like that, but again, I kind of feel like some of you are becoming an overcomer here. You have the Seven of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. The Seven of Wands is like a certain level of certainty. To me, it's a card of conviction, knowing that that something is going to be successful. And, that's this right here. The deeper you believe that you can have whatever this dream realization is, that's a word I'm getting, which is crazy. I never say that about the Nine of Cups. The deeper you can believe it, the more likely it is that it'll happen. The Nine of Pentacles, I feel, is like resources. She is very resourceful. She has all the resources necessary to accomplish something that she wants to accomplish. So I feel like you could be accomplishing a lot, actually. I'm just getting accomplishment there. And you have the Ace of Wands, probably your most important card here. Ace of Wands is my favorite card. I always say that it's my favorite card because sometimes I just feel it's like that one thing that we need to pull us out of a bad situation, or to, you might be in a good situation, but it could always get better, right? Why not? I think life should get better and better. And the Ace of Wands is like that one thing you need to inspire you to take action. It's a card of out with the old, in with the new. That castle back here is crumbling. So for a lot of you, that castle could be the tower. It could say that there is something that has been leaving your life. It feels like a process to me here, Taurus. So if you've been going through, I wouldn't really call it a tower moment. I would just say it's like a deep transformation, a shedding of your skin, or maybe you've been going through this, kind of a process of releasing an establishment. The way that I look at the Tower is it's kind of like the release of establishment. Fits in very well with the astrology. Especially, I talk about this all the time. Pluto in Capricorn is literally the end of establishment. We are going to see a lot of establishments, which is basically anything that's been around for a long time. We're going to see a lot of those things either going through a transformation. It's basically, you have a choice, right? If you're an establishment, you can go through a transformation or you can die, or basically disappear. And we're going to see a lot of that. And again, I think that, with these bank collapses and things like that, it's like, you ain't seen nothing yet, people. It's like, there's going to be a lot more of this. And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Rider here. The Rider is communication. Everyone's had this card, which is crazy to me. So again, going this way here, you could be attracting a person into your life. I do not like this. The Five of Pentacles, I will say, it's showing up in the good stuff. But again, I always say, I don't try to make my rose fit if I feel something intuitively. And for a lot of you, to me, it looks like two people who are left out in the cold. It could be you, could be and the person that have both been left out in the cold. And we're going to clarify it more, obviously. But it's like, if this person's too closed off because they've been left out in the cold, then obviously that's going to make it very difficult for you to be in a relationship with them. Again, I don't really look at this as a love reading. I think, as always, your readings are more big picture. I think it's because of Uranus and Taurus. That's probably why every reading I've done for you since the beginning of Uranus and Taurus has been more of a big picture reading. But what I would say is, again, I feel like, if you meet a person like that who seems closed off, I would say, I think, here's the thing that I will say. I think we need to be better breaker-uppers, right, as well. Not only overcomers, but breaker-uppers as well. And what I mean by that is, if you get into a situation with a person and you notice they're being closed off, instead of like trying to save them or wait for the person, I would say, like, you know what, when you're ready, either, I would communicate. I would say, hey, what's going on? I don't like this, blah, 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 right? I would say something first, because maybe they'll be like, oh, I'm being a jerk. I need to open up, right? And that could fix the problem right there. But the other thing is if they're not ready, then I would say, come back to me when you're ready. Because, again, I think that Neptune and Pisces, too much of that, like, fantasy, magical, getting lost, and be, I could fix this person, or seeing the potential of what a person can be. It's like, I think that the harsh lesson of Neptune and Pisces is that something beyond the potential already exists, meaning if that person can't live up to what you think you deserve, then there is a person who does. And the whole point of Neptune and Pisces is to not wait, right? Because we can have the fantasy right now. We can have the reality that we have pictured in our head right now if we make the right decisions. And this doesn't even have to be love, Taurus. This could be some sort of goal, wish, or dream that you have. So I wouldn't be waiting. And again, I would communicate as well. The other important thing with the astrology is that we should be communicating with people and telling them what we expect, right? Or, just saying, like, what's up? If we do that, we will solve our problems very, very quickly. We are in a time where we have to face our problems. We have to face our fears. And maybe it's uncomfortable to talk to a person about this. But it's like, again, it could change your life because maybe they pull their head out of their ass and you become lovers, right? With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Star. Everybody's had this card as well, which is great. This is a card just like the Star card in the tarot. It's very similar, kind of represents hope, faith, renewal. Can represent getting a lot of attention as well. You Earth signs keep getting these cards of attention, which is great. I would be taking advantage of it if you have like a business or career, whatever, but really good card. With the Ace of Wands, you have this Devil card. This deck has some extra like oracle cards in it. And this card says shadow self, addiction, obsession, limits, dependency, lust, excess, materialism. So I would, again, Ace of Wands, very lusty card, right? I would be careful of a person who's like that. Seven of Swords, Five of Pentacles here. It's like a person who might only want a sexual connection, right? Which, hey, if that's what you're down for, go for it, right? I'm not here to judge, Taurus, but whatever you want. But I would make sure that you're getting what you want, right? If you want more and this person only wants lust, then obviously it's not right. It's not correct. The other thing that I would say is that, I kind of feel like for some of you that you could be becoming obsessed, but this could be a good obsession, actually. Ace of Wands, again, something new, something that excites you, something that allows you to be creative. You go to the Judgment card, which is your true purpose, right? Up to the Tower. So, this Tower, again, would be a solid foundation because it's showing up in the area of the good stuff. And I kind of get that for you here. I feel like there are some good obsessions. Like, I'm obsessed with tarot. It's like, obviously, it's very difficult for me. I know it doesn't sound like a lot of work, but it is a lot of work for me to do. I do four videos every single day, no matter what. And, I do this every single day. I take no days off, basically. And so it's like I have to be obsessed to do that, right? So it's like, not all obsessions are bad as long as you do them in balance. And I do feel like there could be an obsession here, but a good one. Next in the area of what you need to hear right now, you have this card that says, surrounded by positive people. It says, Thanksgiving, gratitude, and gathering. Be grateful for what you have. I think that we are in a time of gratitude just in general. You don't have it here in this reading, but a lot of the readings have had the Five of Cups, which is, I always say the solution to the Five of Cups is gratitude. So I feel like if you can just be grateful for the things you have, it'll kind of like allow you to become an overcomer, as I said earlier in the reading. You have the Nine of Cups, the Judgment card, and the Seven of Swords. I would be careful, especially in Mercury retrograde, if you have a past person who you know is a liar, cheater, stealer, I would be careful of that. I do feel that for some of you, where it's like, maybe you had a breakup or separation, and maybe you're just not sure, like if the person was a liar, cheater, stealer, but you kind of think it, and I think you're right, So I would just be careful if you have a person like that. You have the Judgment card. And Judgment is one of the few cards that I consider an ex, like truly representing an ex coming back. And so I would, but again, to me, this reading is saying no, don't go back to the past, obviously. The other thing that I would say here is that the Seven of Swords is actually a good card. It is a golden card, and he is basically stealing those swords from this army in the background here. So it's like he's doing things differently. I have a very specific message popping into my head. If you're doing something in a competitive area of life, like if you're trying to start a business that's in a competitive industry, or if there's some other type of competition going on in your life, again, the thing about Pluto and Aquarius is it rules. It's kind of like more co-creation. I do believe we're entering into a time of co-creation, but it also kind of says like there are maybe more tactical ways of doing things, or there are ways that don't require, being in competition or whatever. So it's like you might be able to outsmart the competition by not even taking part in competition, by doing something that sets yourself apart. So, I hope that makes sense. But if you have like a business, or if you're like starting a YouTube channel, which is super competitive or something like that, it's like you might have a unique idea, that kind of sets you apart. And that's exactly what I'd be doing here. You have the Judgment card, so I kind of feel like you're waking up to your purpose, but I really feel that you're having kind of like a major wake-up call here. Again, this is the most powerful combination in the tarot. So it's like you're waking up to something. You could be waking up to the Nine of Cups, which is like wish fulfillment. I kind of feel like I have the words realization of a dream popping into my head. And I feel like that comes from a book. Those words. It's like I'm saying that, and but I'm not sure what book that is. That's popping into my head right now. So I don't know. Hopefully it comes to me. But if not, it is what it is. And but I feel like you're realizing some sort of dream here. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Fox. The Fox is very similar to the the Seven of Swords. It is a card of kind of like sneakiness, manipulation, things like that. So again, I would be very careful of a person coming back who is sneaky and manipulative, but it can also represent kind of like being tactical. So again, I kind of get both sides here. If you have a person who is sneaky, I would be very careful of that. If you meet a new person that you feel like is sneaky, I would be very careful of that as well, for sure. This is a card of like manipulation and things like that. So I'd be careful. Devil, that devil card, this card, that, there you go. But what I would also say is that I kind of feel like this could be a good energy for you as well. Fox medicine is being able to blend into a situation. So anything you can do to blend into like any area of your life that you're trying to be successful in, I would do it. With the Judgment card, you have the Garden. It's a card of like events, happiness, partying, celebrations. It's also a card of kind of seeing growth. So I feel like there could be something that is very nice that you are growing in your life. I talk about this to you all the time because of Uranus and your sign. It's like basically like growing a garden, growing something that could be very long term. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Mice. Yep. The mice is very slow progress. It is, when you think about it, mice chew through a wall, but it takes them a very long time to chew through a wall. I feel like for some of you, you could have been stuck with a person who was wasting your time. You could be fearing that now. I kind of feel like, again, you could be meeting a person where someone wasted their time. And yes, I feel like even though might be a good person, a new person that you're meeting, I do feel like you need to either communicate or kind of think about it because, this person, sorry, I'm choking. They might be overcorrecting. They might have been breadcrumbed in the past, and they could be worrying about that like right now. So for some of you, I kind of feel like some of you, it's like there could be, they had a past very sneaky person, and now they're kind of projecting it into the future. So I would like be careful of that as well. They might not be a bad person, but they might just be kind of like thinking about it as well. It's another very sneaky card. You know, it can represent sneaky energy. So again, if you have a sneaky person in your energy, I would be very careful. Next, you have this tricky situation. The whole entire reading. It says a sly approach is necessary in order to safely navigate a tricky situation. This is coming up in the good stuff. So obviously, you know, this is going to be good no matter what. And I do feel like you could be navigating this situation if you have a sneaky person who is around you or a sneaky situation. And again, I also do feel this could be good, because it could just be saying that there is a tactical way you can approach something that is unique, like we kind of described. You have the Tower here, and again, this is the good stuff, so it's going to be good no matter what. I kind of feel like there could be a pleasant surprise coming in for you, and I feel like it is in regards to your finances. And especially if you're starting something like new, you know, if you're starting like working on a new idea, I feel that there could be like a little bit of a boost, or I just see this as little things that are kind of coming in for you that are making you feel more, you know, I get like this feeling of motivation, or like I actually want to do the work if I put myself in your shoes. I hope that makes sense, but maybe you haven't been, you know, feeling motivated, or like you want to do the work on something, and it's like now you are. I feel it. So, you know, I definitely really like that for you there, Taurus. You have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is a victory, and I do feel there could be a victory coming in for you. I do get communication, by the way, in love. You know, it could be any sign. You have basically everything here, but water and earth really stand out to me. Fire stands out to me as well. I think you always have a fire sign showing up here, and for some reason I feel like that Seven of Wands, Ace of Wands is a fire sign for some of you. Take it how it resonates, but you know, I feel like there could be communication here between you and another person. With the Tower, you have the dog. Yes, this is a card of trust, loyalty, a very strong connection. It's almost like there are these are two very different energies, the fox and the dog. They're showing up right next to each other. It's like wild, domestic, right? And I feel like you could be attracting a more domestic, you know, person. It's like maybe your past person just had a wild side and that was it. I feel like this new person has a good balance of both. It's like, you know, to me, just dating a dog, like a companion, like a domestic person, it could be bad as well. It's like, you know, I think it's better to have balance. So I kind of feel that for you here, where it's like you could be dating a person where it's like they're a good mix of both, you know. And I think we need both. You know, we need both energies basically. We need to have that wild side that's willing to take risks, explore, have fun, all that other stuff, but also the domestic side. We have to take care of real world things, you know. So I kind of feel that. I don't know. That's how it's popping into my head. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Moon. This is different than the Moon and the Tarot, but you know what's really funny is that the Moon and the Tarot has the dog and the wolf, the dog and the coyote. It literally represents your wild side and your domestic side, literally what I was saying. So I kind of feel like there's a good mixture of both with a person. This card, of course, represents your intuition and trusting your intuition as well. So I definitely like to see that. And with the Five of Pentacles, you have the Letter. This is communication coming in for you, or good news coming in for you as well. I do feel like there could be, like if you're like hoping to sign a contract, or if you're hoping to get a new contract, I do feel there could be a contract coming in for you. So I like to see that. We're going to pull 5 main themes now here, Taurus. You have the Lover. There you go. I said the whole time that this wasn't a love reading, and you have the Lover. So some of you, there definitely could be love coming in for you. Again, I feel like this person's a good mixture of boring and exciting. It's like, I think you want boring because, or a certain side to them that could be boring, because then they won't be a cheater. Seven of Swords, Devil, Ace of Wands, the mice, right? Past person. But I also feel like they do have that a little bit of wild side. It's like they're not so boring that they want to play like checkers every single night and go to, you know, church every, you know, Tuesday and Sunday, and they eat meals at the same time. They have the same meal every single day, you know, and have a pencil protector, right? It's like that's boring too. So, you know, I feel like this person has a good mixture of both. Next, you have this consolation card. You know, consolation is like a consolation prize. So I feel like some of you, I'm almost wondering, see, again, I get this feeling of you attracting a person who went through something very similar to you, and it's almost like you are each other's gift to each other. I hope that makes sense. That's like what I'm getting here, where it's almost like, you know, I feel like this person maybe had a person who they were like meant to be with or whatever, but that person screwed up or cheated, and same and vice versa as well. And so that could be like a prize. I also feel for a lot of you, even if you don't want love, that it's like you're finally being rewarded for your hard work. Remember, we were saying about thinking about the past and these difficulties that you've been through in the past, right? And it's almost like you're seeing the rewards now. Of course, you have this love card because I'm trying to make a point that it's not a love reading, so the universe is like, nope. So that clearly there could be love coming in for you. I'd say it's true love, brings you a lot of peace as well as what I'm getting, if you want love. Next, you have this gift card. Yeah, definitely very positive. I feel like there are gifts coming in for you for what you've been through. I also get something here about, like, again, if you have a unique idea, or, especially I'm getting that whole competition thing we were talking about here, where it's almost like there is no competition the way you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like for some of you, it's like you could come up with that. It kind of reminds me of tarot. It's like there's a lot of competition right now for tarot channels, but it's like, I don't know, maybe you have a different way of doing it, right? That really stands out. It's like, I think there will always be someone new who gets to the top, right? It's just how life works. But again, maybe you have a unique idea in some other industry, and I would do it. There's like gifts there. And finally, you have this cheerfulness card. This card of excitement, happiness, celebration. So good things coming in for you, Taurus. But this is a very good reading. I like where this is going. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.